What's good? It's preparing. Get ready. We are live.
Hey guys, welcome to the Golf Podcast Live. I'm your host, Rafael Kalamat. I'm in Oakville, Canada. I'm with Michael Bleackley. As always, he's in Vancouver at ECS Golf Agency. It's a golf agency as well now.
It's getting that
It's
way.
also a digital marketing company. I'm thrilled to be talking about ECS because they do so much for web design and development. Go check them out online.
ECSagency.com. Don't forget the URL, Raf.
Yeah, that's right. I always forget something. That's what the wife says anyways. Look, check us out at thegolfpodcastlive.com. If you missed, not .com, Mike, I'm messing everything up. Thegolfpodcast.live.
There you go.
Is that right?
That's correct.
I finally got it right. If you didn't see all the other episodes, we've had so many players, so many interesting people in the community of golf. Go and take a look. There's interesting conversations, really cool content. Take a look at that. If you go on YouTube, it's in the live section, right? So I know a lot of people that we know have gone there, but they only saw some sort of video clips, but we're in the live section because we do all of this live. Crazy weekend, Mike. Mother's Day weekend. Steve Stricker wins at the Regions Traditions for the third time, back-to-back, 2022 and 2023 champion. Always emotional. The guy has done so well over all these years.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had the LPGA Founders Cup. Winner was Jin Young Ko, and she's won that as well 3 times, which is pretty cool, right? It's an annual event, and it honors those 13 LPGA founders. That's where, hence it be called the Founders Cup, and that was in New Jersey.
And most importantly, or I guess not, but like Jason Day, he's back. He had some injuries, but it's been 5 years since he's been in the victory circle. That's pretty cool.
I think so. 5 years. Can you imagine 5 years? Like, he's gone through a lot. I mean, his mom passed away, so that's why he was so emotional with his victory on Sunday. He kind of broke down, told himself he'd be strong, but you can't hold those natural emotions. She was sort of the guiding light for his career. He had a hard childhood from the stories he's told in the past, and for him to come out on top, winning his second Byron Nelson, his 13th PGA victory, pretty cool.
It is. Nothing bad to say about Jay Day. It's always great to see him in the field, and happy to see him take home some hardware. I'm sure he's all right financially, but the nice check, I'm sure, is landing well too. But he's a good player going into the PGA Championship this week. Can he keep up the hot streak? Who knows? Getting into a major, slightly different animal than a tour event, but the Byron Nelson's a historic PGA Tour event, and for him to take 2 of them down, it's great. It's known to have a decent field. Yeah, it's never comparable to a major anymore, but it is a very historic event. So good for Jay Day.
Remember when Rob Labritz came on, and he said it was the first time he played on Zoysia. So that type of grass is kind of your club kind of bounces off, never really digs in. They've got 3 types of grasses at that golf course. They had the Zoysia, they had the bent grass, and the Poa Annua mixed in with the Bermuda rough. So that's pretty cool. Notably Siwoo Kim finishing second. We had Scotty Scheffler and Terrell Hatton up there as well. So that was a nice go at it. Austin Eckroat. Is it Eckroat or Eckarat?
I think Eckarat.
Yeah, he's moved up in the standings, so that's really good. CT Pan showing up for the tournament as well. And I love that picture. Did you see Jason Day with the cowboy hat holding the crystal vase?
Yes.
It's a pretty good look for the Australian, right?
Oh, 100%. It's good weekend. I didn't actually watch a lot of it. I caught some highlights. It was a hot weekend out here in Vancouver, and played some golf myself, and And as well, last Friday night was the first kickoff event for the year of the Shipyards Night Market, which the Golf Podcast Live is sponsoring. So, we had a great event, some great live music, and myself, I actually DJ'd, and it was great. We had about 6,000 people come through the neighborhood.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was good. So we're going to
I wish I was
post.
there.
Yeah, it would have been
I'm
great.
2,000 miles away.
Yeah, no, 100%. If you were, we could have brought the golf element into the market, and we still will.
Yeah.
18 more of them. We'll be posting some of the live music and stuff on our YouTube channel, just for some different content, but just shows that this is our background. Raf and I were DJs, and we produced events in the past. That's how
Well,
we
you
got to
still
know each
do.
other.
You still do. I haven't done that in 25 years, but you're
No.
still very active in the music community.
I still play, and maybe not as much as I did in the younger years, but I still do play music, and I love it. You can check it out on SoundCloud at DJ Mike Madness. There's tons of music from some live sets and some just digital podcasts that I've recorded. So there's a ton of stuff there. Get after it. Got a shout out to Fred at Big Time and Kangol for providing the headgear that I am wearing now. And
It's pretty cool. You give them the full effect. Take off the headphones for a second.
I've got a bunch right here.
You got a bunch right there.
So Kangol, was first really, it's been around a long time.
Mike, I'm going to interrupt just 2 seconds.
Yeah.
We're going to do some giveaways, so don't get bored on this. Take a look at these hats, because we're going to give away some of these Kangols.
Check these out. But you'll recognize Kangol, maybe depending on how old you are, but LL Cool J made them famous in the late 80s, right? So look at this beast. Look at that. It's kind of like a terry towel material. It's very good for summer. Protect your ears, the back of your neck.
So you're talking about it's like a terry cloth, that one?
Oh, yeah.
The one you're wearing
here
is a cotton, right?
The one I'm wearing is more of like a cotton, kind of like a fisherman's cap kind of vibe. And, but this one, hold it up close. The white may not show well.
That's crazy.
But it's a really nice hat. So we're going to get our logos on these, and we're going to give some away. And Raf's going to be wearing one. This is a bit more of a dressy white cap. But look at that, right? That is
that's really good. So it bodes well for female and male golfers.
Oh, 100%.
So that's really cool. So thank you, Kangol Canada. That's really neat. Thank you,
and Fred at Big Time. And I just want to show you the golf line. You see here, you can put a couple tees in there.
Neat.
They're reversible. So that's a red and a white.
That's insane.
Right. So
I like that.
It's very light. It's got the perforations up here.
That's a tiger red.
Oh yeah, a Sunday red, absolutely. So, and here's a powder blue or baby blue, whatever you want to call it.
I'd wear that's my color. As you can see, I wear a lot of gray and blue.
You're speaking for that one, okay, Raf. Once the logo's on it, we'll send that out to you. And again, your tees, it's reversible, washable. It's an awesome product. So here's another one with the terry towel kind of vibe. Where's that logo? Show that.
Cool. Logo. There it is. That's cool. You got to get the lint off there. Yeah.
Sorry. And there you go. Pretty cool. Love the camera.
I love it.
The logo's always been awesome. So thanks to Fred.
But you have to subscribe. You have to subscribe on YouTube and one of our social media channels. That's the only way we're going to pick out our winners. We're going to give away a bunch of that stuff and more to come.
Yeah, we'll put a blurb out onto Instagram. But yeah, we're going to ask you to hit us up, because we need to grow the YouTube numbers. We're moving the social media numbers. We do pretty well in the audio platforms.
We do very well. Thousands of listens every week. It's just the YouTube side. It's a hard go. But if you get people more active by commenting, we're going to get back to you. Again, like we said in previous weeks, doesn't matter what you write, whether it's good or bad. Give us some feedback.
Yeah, roast us. Go ahead. Go ahead. But we have plans for some more content, so some golf, quick tips. Raf is a professional golf instructor based out of Vic Hadfield's Academy out in Ontario, Mississauga area, right, Raf?
It's Oakville.
Oakville, right? It's a nice part of Ontario. So go down there. The Hadfields are famous hockey players. It's a hockey family, and they've got a great practice facility, and that's where Raf works. I'll be doing some. As you all know, I play amateur golf. I'm decent at it. Short game is my specialty, and I'm going to put together some short clips as well.
Look
That'll
out
help
for
some
our
people.
content. We're going to be doing tips. We're also going to be doing matches.
That's
We're going to
next.
be doing all kinds of stuff. That's a lot of fun. We'll have other casters on.
Yeah.
We've already lined up a whole bunch of people for the summer where we're going to be recording some matches. So it'll be fun. Come support us.
Any podcasters out there now, hit us up. Let's have a challenge.
Absolutely.
Raf and I are in different cities, but if you're in Toronto, Raf will come out, and if you're in Vancouver, let's set up a battle. It'll be fun. We'll film it, and we'll help each other and make some content.
Look, by no means are we, the good boys putting on huge events or Rick Shields or anything like that, but we're certainly going to grow. We've been involved in this game for well over 30 years. We're decent players. We're actually very good players. So look out. Even though that we're 49 years old, we are planning to play some pre-qualifiers on the Champions Tour come next year, not only in Canada, over in Calgary, there's one event, but we'll be coming out in the US. So look out for us. We'll be shooting our content for our journey going out there. So lots of fun stuff. Mike, this is going to be a good segue for the PGA Championship, right?
Let's get it.
PGA Championship this week, Rochester, New York. This is the fourth time it's going to be at this location at Oak Hill in Rochester, May 15th to 21st. Mike, I don't even know where to begin. This place is quite historic. It's hosted Ryder Cups. It's hosted US Open, Senior PGA Championships, all types of amateur events. It's quite the place. And the reason being, the golfers love it. It's the old style course. Now, it doesn't have as many oak trees as it used to. They've changed the design, but what a course. Jack Nicklaus was the first one to win in 1980, moving on to 2003. Sean McKeel, coming out of nowhere.
That's
he
right.
was tired of finishing second, right?
Who? Sean McKeel. That's right. This was his shining moment on the PGA Tour. He didn't expect it, but I remember I watched it, and I didn't expect him to win. But
it's a crazy story. It's for him, him grinding his whole life, never really making it big, and it's very cool to see. And then Jason Duffner. So. Yeah. Just goes to show the diversity of the player won't be about distance only. It's about placing your ball. Those fairways aren't as wide as all these newer courses or the way the other ones are cut. So I think someone with an all-around game and a good driver of the ball, a straight driver, that is, a straight driver of the ball will do it. John Daly was going to play, but he's out with injury. Just found out several hours ago. He's out. The 1991 champ who famously was like ninth alternate, right, Mike?
Unbelievable, eh? Unbelievable. That's a shame, because when I heard, obviously he's invited, but it's a shame to not see him there, because you never know with John Daly. It's at the very least, it's going to be entertaining, and you never know. But it's unlikely that he would win, but he would be fun to watch.
Here's a fun fact about this tournament. From 1916 to 1957, did you know, Mike, this was a match play event?
That's right. I did know that.
Okay. Yeah, JT just came off the press conference maybe a few hours ago, maybe 2 hours ago or so. And they asked him about music. So I don't know if you heard about this, but they were asking him what kind of music gets him going. What does he like to listen to? And he said he listens to all kinds of music. Really depends on the mood he's in or what he's doing. But on the most part, he's listening to rap. And I didn't expect that. So he listens to rap.
Hey, and you're still talking about John Daly?
No, JT.
JT. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, pay attention.
Yeah, thanks. So I'm for fun in the background here. I'm throwing into Chat GPT who it predicts will win this week, and we'll get back to that. I'm not going to look at the answer, but go on about JT and it's in his
Okay.
rap music.
Yeah, and so JT was JT, not JD. Oh, that's why you may have heard of JD, and I said JT.
Yeah, you're
Ah,
mumbling.
now I get it. So Justin Thomas, he was during his press conference mentioned that he loves rap, and to quote him, he said he's a big hip hop guy. So that was surprising. I didn't
Hmm.
expect JT to be a hip hop guy.
No, I kind of thought he might be an easy listening kind of guy, smooth oldies.
Smooth oldies.
Hey,
He's kind of an old soul, right? Sort of like
uh,
him and Scotty Scheffler listening to
yeah,
60s
yeah.
or 40s big band or something.
Driving down to the tour event, listen to the Beach Boys.
The Beach Boys. I wish they
Uh,
all could.
yeah.
But
So okay.
you got some picks?
Um,
What were you going to
I've
talk about?
got, well, I mean, I've got the odds in front of me from Bet365 Sportsbook.
Cool.
They're giving it. They've got John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler plus 750. So they can't even decide on who they think's the best. But those are two safe picks right there.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
I mean, you know, most people are going to have one or both of them in their pool, depending on how many players they're allowed to pick. But fairly common. Rory 1200, right? Always a safe pick. Will he win it? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the PGA is always produces a different type of winner. Like it's hard to predict. It's a lot of times it's the major that presents a player's first win. So it's very unlikely. It's a tough pick. I mean, we're looking to say that I got the top 15 players on my screen here. It's very likely not one of them wins it. So you never know.
Yeah.
Um, I think the live players are going to come in hot. All right, Brooks off a win, not a win. Pardon me, off a near win
Mm.
in terms of the Masters, right? But he's won
Yeah.
on live, so he's hot out there. Dustin just won. These guys are eager to show they're still relevant in golf. Taylor Gooch has been playing really well out on live and is not allowed in the U.S. Open. So he's got a bone to pick. So
Yeah.
maybe he can play well and earn himself back in the U.S. Open. And there's stuff at play. I wouldn't be surprised to see if one of those guys plays all right. And on that side, old crusty Patrick Reed. He's thrives in controversy. Maybe he's been quiet lately, so maybe there's not enough controversy for him to get fired up. But you never know.
He's obviously got a beautiful short game, barring the fact that, he's not very well liked. At the same time,
And he plays preferred
I
lives.
see the other side of him as well. He's a good family guy. He's been picked on ever since high school because of certain rulings and things that have happened. But if you haven't noticed, he's never been so-called prosecuted. He's never been given fines. He's always been given the green light because they haven't been able to prove anything.
Hmm.
So, after, lots of allegations, I'm not going to side with people who talk badly about Patrick Reed. If
Well,
if he was actually cheating and doing things wrong, um, he would have been penalized. He would have lost his card, something of that nature. I think it has to do with the fact that it's happened so many times and he's not nice about it. He's being honest, and people don't like truth and honesty. He's going to tell you
uh,
what he thinks, whether it's in the locker room or the press room. So it's rubbed
yeah,
people the wrong way.
it's people are sensitive, as we know lately, and the truth is offensive.
Yeah.
So, and really, who are we to a couple schmoes up in Canada?
Yeah.
Who are we to talk about what we don't know? We weren't, we weren't there in the sand trap at Tiger's event. We did have pretty good camera angle, but well, we weren't
Well,
there,
the
and
recently the tree incident with the palm trees. How can you see? Listen, if you're flying at 3:30 and there's two palm trees in front of each other, there's that whole Brandel Chambly theory, and he broke it down with the angle of the ball going in. I think it was just identifying your golf ball when it looked like a bunch of coconuts up there. There was like tons of balls. Like, how can you identify it That was kind of odd.
Yeah, it was odd, definitely. And had there not been prior incidents with Reed,
Yeah,
that would have been swept under the rug really quickly.
exactly.
And it's
And the
sort of been
rules official
forgotten about.
picked the tree. It's the rules official. It's his
Yeah.
job, right?
It's the referees, and there's golf's a hard game to police. It's not like
Yeah,
hockey, you know, with instant replays, or baseball where you can go back, and or tennis for that matter, you can look at lines and use the replays, and they do use replays in golf, but
yeah. It's
that
getting better. The
situation,
technology has helped.
yeah, and golf, it's the only sport I can think of where people can phone in and rat out players. So
Yeah,
it's
I think
really
they've
unique in
thrown
that
that out
way.
the window. That doesn't
Yeah,
happen
I hope so.
anymore.
I hope
Yeah,
so.
I remember that happened quite a bit.
But
But
there's Reed's had some situations, and it's a good point. He's never been charged with any of these
no,
accusations.
no,
So so it's
he's
not
never. Yeah,
fair.
it's
There's
not fair.
rumors of
Even the college stuff, he's gotten. He has letters of apologies from college coaches, from other players. He has them all. He says, "I have proof,"
yeah,
but everybody remembers him being alleged to do something.
yeah.
Anyways, let's on
Let's
a
move
lighter
on from
note, let's
that. We
talk
don't
about
live.
Phil Mickelson.
Yeah. Yeah, Phil is turning into the king of Twitter.
Oh yeah, he's
Right.
back to being Phil. He's back
Yeah,
to being,
he is back.
fun Twitter Phil, right?
He is back to he's having fun trolling Twitter a little bit, right?
Yep.
So who cares, right? There's a lot of stuff to kick around in golf right now, or it's new. This isn't normal. Like you look back in the history of golf, it's never had so much disruption with the new tour, a higher end tour coming in. Not that I'm saying higher end than the PGA, but they are trying to make it as a second viable option, and they're clearly paying a lot of money. It's not designed to be a feeder tour. But the way this has unfolded, golf's been segregated a little bit. So we got players all over the place, and we got new a lot of pressure on the world ranking system. We have the TUGR system that's out, that we had Jeff
Yeah.
Bullock on a couple of weeks ago, and I
They're
watched.
getting a lot of press.
They're getting a lot of
On
press.
Sirius. They
Yeah,
were on with Colt and Drew on
yeah,
Gravy and the Sleaze. They're talking about it. They were on with us a couple of weeks ago.
yeah.
Um,
And if you watch them, follow them on Instagram or Twitter, whatever your preferred platform is, and every week they post an update of each of the PGA Tour event, and which players would rank based on the official world golf ranking
mm,
system and their system, and it covers all tours. So it's not just they're not biased. So they're bringing
yeah.
in all the tours, and including the senior tour. You're seeing some of the guys. Steve Stricker was ranking.
Yeah.
Alker
DP
was
World
ranking for a
Tour.
little bit. So the
DP
DP.
World
So
Tour, you got guys on there who are in the top 20 on the DP World Tour, the Champions Tour. It's very cool.
mhm.
And so they're using more of a stroke average system, right? They're using a different style of system of calculating, and a shorter time frame, from what I
Yeah,
understand.
they're using
Um,
supercomputers, as Jeff was saying. So we're trying to get a little
yeah,
more insight on his algorithm, but obviously he's holding the details of that pretty closely.
well, of
But
course.
the smart crew, they know what they're doing. They're
Hey,
showing
Mike, tighten up to the mic a little bit, just a
okay,
little bit closer there. Yeah,
yeah, they're showing a viable system that that appears effective. So
yeah,
let's see where this goes. That'll be interesting. But let's circle back into the PGA. We're getting off on tangents, which is fine,
yeah.
because soon enough we're going to talk about hot dogs.
No, but I'm
But
glad. Yeah, that's good. Well, it's good to talk about that. Up in New York State, the fans love their food. I think northeastern food, especially New York food and New York crowds are going to be amazing. It won't be a Beth Page Black type of situation, but
it won't be
it's going to
far
be a
off.
sellout.
New Yorkers have got thick skin, and they're not shy to they're unfiltered.
They
Just
love Phil.
oh
They
yeah,
love Phil up there.
yeah, they do.
Phil's a former winner of the PGA, if you guys haven't forgotten. He's been out there with his brother for the last week and a half working the course and practicing. So, Look out for Phil. Look out for Patrick Harrington, the guy, one of the only guys who's gained yardage on the PGA Tour champions.
Yes.
Guys put on 10 to 20 yards, and he's hitting the ball longer than ever on a good hit. He said he's gained 35 yards. How true that is, I don't know. But he's playing really well, and he's on fire. Like, the guy has a lot of passion for the sport, and he's got something to prove for some reason. At his
Yeah.
age, he's got nothing to prove. What an amazing career. So he's a former winner of the PGA as well. He'll be out there. Do you know VJ's playing? Because he's won the PGA.
Well, he's won. I'm assuming he is. I'm going to look on the
He
page in a
has
second,
won.
but I just on Patrick Harrington, he is plus 40,000 to win. So for a
Here's
long
big
shot,
bet. There's the dark horse, right? I'd
uh,
love for one of the older guys to show up, and do well Like, look at what happened at the Masters with Phil, right? That was pretty incredible. But
yeah,
I'm looking at one of
plus,
your picks, Mike. Max Homa is
yeah,
looking like, what I like about him. Not only is he a great personality, but he's come back from adversity like almost no other player on tour. He went back to the Corn Ferry Tour just to get into the Corn Ferry Championships, and at the end of the season, he
yeah.
needed 5 birdies on the last 5 holes to maintain his card and get back on the PGA Tour, and he did it.
Wow.
And so
I don't see
great.
BJ in the field here.
Oh, well, he's a former winner. He should be able to
He
play.
should. Maybe he decided not to. I'm just searching the
Yeah, it's
page.
possible.
I don't see him here.
He hasn't been
Uh,
that hot on the PGA Tour champions this year.
he could be nursing an injury or something. I'm not entirely sure, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You could use some deer spray for that.
yeah. Speaking of Sean McKeel, he's plus 250,000. So
Is he
you know,
playing?
yeah, he's playing. So go throw $1 on that, see what happens.
No
Uh,
doubt, no doubt. A lot of things also happened this weekend on the YouTube, in the YouTube world. I guess Good put on their championship. We had our buddy Mark Baldwin play. Everything is secretive. I don't know if the results are out. Who made the 12-person cut? Who won? I heard it was all hush hush until they get the production done. So good on them. Fat Perez was playing. Even Gipper Finau was playing in that. Isn't that
that's his brother,
Tony
right?
Finau's brother?
Good. So that's great. I mean, I watched them on the big break. So it's
That's right.
yeah, I just popped over to Good's channel. I don't see anything about the tournament yet, but as we understand it, everything is super quiet. Everyone's probably
Yep.
under an NDA, and
Yep.
it's going to come out on YouTube. So that's what these guys are. Kind of in terms of golf, the kings of YouTube.
Yeah.
They
Our,
know they
or our
work.
fellow Canadian YouTuber, Nate, is it Henderson?
I
We
think
spoke to
so.
him briefly. Yeah, he went out there. They got invited. He went out there. He covered the event. So good for him. A lot of different YouTubers going out and covering the event up in Arizona. You've played that course. Have you played there?
I played the Kierland course a few years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually shot really well on it. It was fun. It's they're resort style courses. There's 3 9s over there at the
Right.
Westin Kierland Resort, and obviously very well manicured and all that. But they're pretty wide, like they're resort style. And yes, there's a challenge. 100%. Any golf course can provide some difficulty, but nice facilities, good facilities. Probably a fun time for all of these players to go out and. If anyone saw the opening tee shots that went viral, one guy duck hooked his drive into a spectator.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that was horrible. Yeah, you know what? That was on the I think the warm-up rounds with the
Could have
boys
been,
playing with the fan event they had. But
yeah,
during the regular event, I think everything went pretty smooth. We had
probably.
another guy who's in his 50s, Mr. Short Game. He was announcing all the players. He was the announcer, got invited down.
Right.
He does a lot of YouTube videos, so shout out to him. He's doing really well on his channel and his podcast. Rick Shields went quiet for a little bit on YouTube, so we'll see what's happening there. But back to the PGA Championship, Mike. I'm going to read the John Daly notice that he sent out over here. He wrote, "I'm really disappointed to miss the PGA Championship. This major means the world to me and will always have a special place in my heart. I wish the best to those competing." So John Daly's out with an injury.
Yeah, that's a shame. Well, ChatGPT has failed. It's not able to predict who's going to win. So if you're betting on this tournament, don't use ChatGPT.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, who do you think, Raf? Like, I mean, there's a lot of players here. We know it could
Look,
go anywhere.
let me ring out a couple of names that I'm thinking about.
Yeah, throw three names, like a couple winners and a dark horse.
I'm gonna say, you know what? After the Masters, I think I've finally become a Jon Rahm fan. I think he's gotten the respect. He got a little humbled by the whole event. I think he's got a different outlook on playing and taking in interviews, and his game's kind of peaking in this maturity with having an all-around game. I've become a fan.
And he showed up at the Heritage and tried. Like, he could have easily dogged it on the first 2 days and missed the cut and had a restful weekend, but he tried. He grinded through it, and he's jumped into the interview booth and he's been really good. Like, his stock has improved in my portfolio for sure, because I saw him years ago at the American Express, and we're down there and hanging out, and I watched him walk by a bunch of kids in the autograph area, and as I kind of hinted them, "Hey, come on, John, they've been waiting for you, man. They're big fans." Try to pump these kids up a bit, and he said, "Oh, I'm busy." And he kind of walked by, and I know these guys. You can't really judge anyone.
You can't always stop. You can't. You don't know what's going on in their lives, right?
So I was just kind of like, "Oh, that's too bad. I saw that." Right, but not to
it's
say
like Don Johnson and Tin Cup.
Yeah. 100%. So, but he's been really good, and him sitting in the booth, calling a tournament. He sat in there for quite a while, if I recall, like longer than they expected, and he said he would like to do that at some point in his time, and get into the booth full time. So maybe we'll see him in there more often. But he's got a hell of a game. He's got a major championship game, so he's always a contender.
Easy pick
he's an
right
easy
now.
Pick. Yeah,
right. But those, you're asking me who I really think is up there, so I'll pick three because it's so hard to narrow down to like one or two.
Yeah.
But I'm still all for Cam Smith. Like, a lot of people might think that he's a long shot, but let's not forget what he's accomplished and how good of a player he actually is with an all-around game. So he's still at the top of my list. And I'm gonna have to say Cameron Young. I feel like it's he might be one of those players that comes out of nowhere and wins a major. He's been very close,
knocking on doors. He is, a hell of a ball striker.
Very mature
which
game.
is he really is a solid player. So, and then what? Who's your dark horse?
My dark horse is going to be Phil Mickelson. I'll have three dark horses if you don't mind. Phil Mickelson, Patrick Harrington, just because I'm a big fan of their games and I think they're going to do well. And, Justin Rose.
Yeah, that I was looking at him on the list here, and that he did pop into my mind. Where did he go here? He's a good bet, actually. He was high. Let me find him again.
He's probably a long shot bet, and
he's plus 12,500. So go throw.
He's a PGA Championship bet. Yeah,
Phil, put $100 down on that. You won't regret it.
So my long shots are all PGA champions. It's not that bad. How about yourself, Mike? Do you got anybody in mind?
Yeah, I do. I talked that I have a feeling one of the Live boys is going to come through. I do like your choice of Cam Smith, but I have a feeling Brooks is going to play well, if not have a chance and win. So I'll choose him. I already picked on Twitter Max Homa, so I'll stick with that because he's trending. He's get comfortable. He's been out there a few years now. He's won. He's going in the right direction. Getting into the dark horse side, I think Taylor Gooch kind of slides into that because USGA sort of slightly pulled the carpet out from underneath him. And Gary Woodland is
Interesting.
he's a good ball striker. He's you can't rule him out. He can be a little streaky, but when he's on, I chose him to win the US Open at Pebble Beach a few years back, and took a lot of heat from everyone else in the pool because they're like, how the hell did you pick him? And I just had a feeling. Corey Connors could be, no one's expecting our Canadians, but Corey's been,
I
really
hate
solid
that I
lately.
haven't picked any Canadians this time for even dark horses, but I just, with the colder weather coming in on Thursday, supposedly there might be a frost delay. The Canadians bode well in the colder weather, I would say,
Yeah,
right? So it being about 2 hours from Toronto, I'm 2 hours away from the championship. Unfortunately, I got to work all week, but I'd love to be there.
yes,
But it looks like
100%.
it's going to be a little bit colder, so it'd be good to go late early. I'd love to have that kind of pairing, because you might not even tee off if you got a late early pairing for a Thursday, Friday.
That's true. That's true. So,
Ball doesn't
let's
fly
see.
as far.
100%. Right. It's and the Canadians were used to playing in some sketchy weather, especially out here in BC, because we do play all winter, and it'll be 3-4 degrees and wind off the ocean, and it isn't pleasant. I'll tell you that. It's pure feeding the golf addiction when we play out here in the winter. And mind you, sometimes we get some nice, sunny, warm days, but that's comparatively like most of Canada. For anyone who doesn't know, it's golf courses are closed for some duration through the winter. So we're lucky in the West Coast, but it isn't pleasant. You need to have all the rain gear. You need to have it all.
Mike, one of the things we were going to talk about today is the PGA professionals who actually are playing in this event. Our acquaintance and friend now, Rob Labritz, was a PGA professional who played in this event a couple of times. Let's talk about what it takes to get out there. I don't think a lot of fans or casual people who just watch the majors realize what it takes to get on tour, never mind play a major. So these PGA Tour club professionals have a lot of responsibilities. They teach golf, they take care of their members, many of them take care of the pro shop, so the retail side of things. They need to plan tournaments, so much organizing, and their game suffers because of it. Now, I was an assistant professional at clubs in the past, 20 some odd years ago. I worked at Royal Montreal Golf Club. I've also worked at Public Resort. I've traveled around the world. And it's a tough go to keep your game sharp and have all the responsibilities as a teaching professional. There's a big difference between a touring professional and a teaching professional. The best analogy I could use, if those of you watching or listening want to understand, is that, an instructor is like the guy who's on the bench. He knows the game inside out, helps with all the plays, gets the people from point A to point B to point C with their game, whether they're beginners or professional golfers. Claude Harmon's probably the best example. The guy plays to a 9 to 10 handicap, but he teaches some of the best players in the world. And that just goes without saying. You don't have all these, they're not teaching professionals. So a PGA pro, when you're a golf pro, means that you work at the club. You're not touring and playing. So I always get that question over the years, right, Mike? People ask me, hey, Rafa, are you playing any tournaments? Not really. When I was younger, 20 some odd years ago, although I'm getting that itch again, and might just play some senior events and qualifiers and pre-qualifiers coming next few years. I'm 49 now, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Raf's been talking about this, and I've been pushing them to just enter something because you need to get reps in. And
Yeah.
you where you live, Raf, there's a Great Lakes tour. There's a lot of options, little mini tours, just to
Yeah.
get those reps in because
It's
fun.
now called the East Coast Golf Tour. They teamed up with the tour in Quebec. It's a massive. It's a little bit bigger now. More events, a lot of 2-day events. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, no, it's you should absolutely be doing it. And when I'm out there, I will force you. We're gonna go do it together.
You got it. So 20
So
PGA Tour pros, 20 guys qualified for this event. Now, we haven't had a winner in I don't know how many years, but it'd be great to see one of these pros do well and make the cut. I mean, making the cut for a lot of these guys is a big deal. Not only do they make a paycheck, but they're going to be able to compete with the best in the world.
yeah, I've got a list of them here.
Great. Let's bring some honor to them, and let's read out all their names if you can.
All right, let's go. There's not very many, so I'll bang it out quickly. We got Alex Beach playing in his 5th PGA, Michael Block as well in his 5th, Matt Cahill in his 1st, Anthony Cordes in his 1st, Jessamy Dromer playing in his 1st. Lots of firsts here. Chris French, Russell Grove, Steve Holmes, Colin Inglis, Ben Kern, JJ Killeen, Greg Koch, Kenny Pigman. That's a good name. Gabe Reynolds, Chris Sanger, Brandon Static, John Summers, Josh Spite, Jeremy Wells, and Wyatt Worthington the 2nd. He's playing in his 3rd, but most of them are all in their 1st. So congrats to all of you for getting there,
Absolutely.
first of all. And thank you for having easy to pronounce names. Because
you did a good job. You did great, man. You're always on me with the way I pronounce stuff. I kind of butcher people's names sometimes, especially if they're brand new and there's several syllables.
Well, there's like 5 or 6 syllables in those last names. And sorry, and any of the professional announcers are practicing that stuff off camera. So yeah, so they're not winging that the first time.
I think you did great. Look at the prize pool. I'm talking about making the cut, but that would be nice to make a decent paycheck, right? There's a prize pool for these players at $15 million divided for everybody who makes the cut. So anybody who makes the Saturday, Sunday cut is going to be making some good money.
Imagine if one of these guys gets in the top 25 or the top 10 for that matter. It's a nice paycheck for them, right? Because some of them probably get a decent salary at the clubs, but being a golf professional isn't always going to put a Lamborghini in your driveway. Let's just put it that way. A lot of these people, they do it because they love helping people. They love the game, and they're all doing their part to grow the game by putting in those long lessons at the range and helping kids learn and helping the members learn, and it's a lot of work. So
it's a thankless job when in many regards. So it'd be nice to see the champion receives that beautiful trophy. It's called the Wanamaker Trophy. It's the largest trophy of all the 4 men's majors. It's massive. It's a pretty big trophy. Not as big as the senior PGA Championship. You ever see that one?
Yes.
The senior PGA Championship trophy.
Yeah.
Or any Middle Eastern trophy is always interesting to see. Then there's
they're all like phallic symbols.
Are they?
Somewhere.
I think last year the winner received something like $2.7 million. So you get about 20% of the purse, which isn't chump change, as they say. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
2.5 is probably $3 million this year.
Well, if it's 20%, it'll be over 3 based on depending on how they break it down. But I'm trying to see if I can get the payouts here.
Yeah. So that's really great. So traditionally, the winner is going to get an automatic invite to all three of the next majors and the Players Championship for the next 5 years.
That's crazy. Like that.
Isn't that great? So people don't realize, so like when Phil won or when Koepka won, they've got exemptions going on for years. So not only the majors, but also the Players Championship, has that been changed? Because Koepka and Phil didn't play in the Players, right? So they earned it, but they are not invited.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure how that broke down because do they get 5 years at the Players, or was Phil just taking?
No, they're supposed to get 5 years at the Players, but not only that, they're supposed to get a PGA Tour membership for the next 5 years as well.
Yeah,
it's huge winning a major.
Oh, it is.
Your life is set up.
It takes the pressure off. So you can just go and focus on golf without worrying about making cuts and making money and getting through. So and you're automatically entered into basically the most prestige events. So it's a game changer. And then each win you add on top of that, if you can, it just extends your exemptions. So
and you're also eligible for the PGA Championship for the rest of your life. So that's why someone like John Daly's playing in it, and Sean McKeel.
Yeah,
you don't have to play in anything all year long, but every year you got a major to look forward to. How great is that?
That's crazy. No, that's like it's the same with the Masters. Like once you're in, you're in. So I
learned something new, Mike. I just learned something new. Not only do you get a membership on the PGA Tour for the next 5 years, you also get a membership for the DP World Tour, formerly the European Tour, for 7 years.
Interesting.
7 years. So that's basically an athletic career.
Yeah. So that opens a lot of doors. So that's why they're called majors, because you get you get major money, you get major opportunities, and your endorsements are going to increase. So it's a game changer. Simply, right? John Daly's got 2 of them, the Open and this, and he's sprinkled a few other wins in between here and there. But really, it's he's a legend, not only because of his wild personality and how entertaining he is, but he deserves it because he's done it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's it. You go.
I was thinking about JT's win last year and how incredible that was. His dad being a PGA professional, he's getting his second, PGA victory, major, that is. And I can't help but think about Mito Pereira, right? And what happened to him on the 18th hole when he kind of duck hook snapped, had a spasm or something on the drive because it looked very awkward. Do you remember that shot?
Yeah.
It
did. That was like,
he was a 54 hole leader. And we're talking about how it changes your life. You could get into a bad rut, after something like that happening to you, basically throwing away a major because of nerves.
Oh yeah, no, he really did. He threw it away, right? I mean, he put him on that hole any other day, and he could make a par, and carry on, right?
And that brought in Will Zalatoris as well.
Yeah, definitely. So the Mito, those are haunting memories, and yes, it thickens your skin, and you're going to learn from that. And if he knew at the beginning of the week that he was going to come in second, he would have been happy. But to anyone who's a competitor, to have it, all you need is one more hole, one more par, and you're done. And but we've all done it. We've all done it. Whether it's on a match with your buddies for a few bucks, or you've done well in a tournament, you're leading after 9, or the second day after the 9th hole, and then you squander away the back. We've all done it, and that's part of the game.
Yeah, I agree. And the people who kind of rounded it out last year was like Rory McIlroy, Tommy Fleetwood, Matt Fitzpatrick, Cameron Young. I won't be surprised to see any of those names at the top of the leaderboard this year as well. But I think that one of the big stories, obviously, this week is, if Rory's game will turn around a little bit. Phil Mickelson and the LIV players. I guess he's one of I don't know how many live players are actually playing. Is it about 15 players or so?
I would assume around there. I haven't actually looked to see
Yeah,
how many, but there's enough of them that are decent. All right, we can call them out now. Kepka, DeChambeau, Taylor, Gooch, Dustin, Reed. There's five. Cameron Smith, six. Sahith Lahari's in there, seven. I'm just going off the top of my head what I can
yeah.
remember, but there's seven. There's got to be at least 15. I would say would be would be a safe call. So anything can happen, and it's we're a couple of days away from tee off. So let's see how this unfolds. Go get your picks
Very,
in.
very cool. Another fun fact: Jack Nicklaus and Walter Hagen hold the record for the most PGA Championship victories. They've got 5 each. Nicklaus has probably got the record for most second places ever, but
Yeah,
he's finished second 4 times in this event,
yeah,
and with 5 victories, that's pretty incredible.
it is, and so who we'll see. Hopefully, we have a good dogfight in the back nine on Sunday.
Too bad we're not
But
going to see Tiger as a story. Tiger's
no,
been in the news recently, unfortunately, with his ex-girlfriend. But the last time he won a PGA Championship event was at Southern Hills in 2007. Always great to see Tiger, but looks like he's nursing some injuries.
he's got fresh operation, and he's still got some house cleaning to do. So who knows when we'll see him, if it's even this year. Really, we all want to see him play, but I think we can all agree that it's hard to watch, when he's limping and struggling, and he's such a grinder. He's pushing himself through it, but it's like we want to see him in contention. And it would be amazing. I hope we can see that again. But like we said, senior tour is coming down, and once he can go out there and have a cart and go out, I think he'll be a lot of fun. Kind of like Lee Trevino telling stories and having some laughs, and he'll be casual about it. It's going to be great if he does that. So, and it's going to boost the crowds in the Champions Tour. So who knows? We're pretty sure he's hinted that he's going to do it. So I think he's going to want to go out and swing it with the other boys, right? You got to think 3-4 more years go by. There's going to be the whole new fresh rookies out on the senior tour, Champions Tour, and yeah, it's going to be great.
I'm kind of going for the golden boy. I'd love for him to play well. I'm talking about Jordan Spieth.
Yeah, that would
Just
be
because
cool.
I kind of like his game. I'm not liking his swing changes that he's done over the last year, but who am I to talk about that? But it's just
Yeah,
the over the top kind of power fade he's been trying to incorporate. It's been kind of weird. But if he won, it would be kind of monumental and historic, because then he would be one of very few players who've won the Grand Slam, won all 4
yeah.
majors. So if he wins this one,
Hmm.
he would become one of those players to have all 4 majors in his career.
It would be cool to see, and I thought about calling him out to an option when I was looking at the lists during our pod here. I would have no problem seeing him in contention and seeing him win. I totally welcome that, and I agree with you. I myself have been working hard to stay away from falling over the top, and so it's hard for me to see a professional golfer, working on the follow over the top move. So, but he's won more money than I have. So what the hell can I say?
Is he playing because he's had that wrist injury? Did he withdraw from?
I
He
saw his
withdrew from
name
the
on
Byron Nelson, right?
yeah, his name's on the list here. So, in terms of this odds list from vegasinsider.com,
Okay.
he's there. So, I haven't heard of anything about him withdrawing yet. He still has time to withdraw, I believe. So we'll see. Maybe he just wanted to bow out and get some treatment,
Yeah,
well,
absolutely. Just give it some rest.
yeah,
Sometimes it's the best thing for you. Most bad injuries that happen to players' careers in all sports is coming back too early from an injury.
usually.
And we've done that way
Yeah,
too
we've
many
all done
times.
that.
I know
We've
I've
all
done
done
it
it.
a few times.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
you got to
no,
listen to your body.
yeah, 100%. The older we get, the harder it is. So there you go. There's Raf's golf tip for the day: is work on your body.
Brought to
Well,
you by ECS Agency.
exactly. Well,
Yeah,
what do you think, Raf? Let's throw a shout out to our sponsors, ECS
you got it.
Agency and Kangol and Bigtime Showroom for the swag here and some giveaway material. Mindshare Workspace, where Raf is not there today, but he's usually over there at their studio for the pod. Who else we've
Well,
got?
you could always go to the Golf Podcast Live. If you want to become a member, meaning you want to help us out, you have a company, or you want to help us out individually, you could go and take a look at our membership levels for the patreon.com website. The link is right there for the Golf Podcast Live. The Golf Podcast.live. I got to learn how to say our own website.
Well, it's a different
maybe we'll get more
TLD.
people to go there if I say it properly.
Yeah, it's a different TLD, but it's there. The Golf Podcast.live. Everything's
Yes.
there. Links to all our episodes, links to our channels, links to everything. The Patreon,
Even our merch.
Our merch
if
is
you want to
there.
support us, get some really cool merch.
Yeah,
It's
you can
very
see some
cool.
in the background. Rafts there, the TGP hats. Here's another one, and they're actually a really good fit. It's the same type of hat that you see Travis Matthew and some of the other brands out there. It looks like the same slugs as what these companies are using. They fit well, and we got more coming.
Yeah, there's hoodies, there's bags, there's stickers, mugs,
yeah,
and caps. Not all of it just says TGP. We got some inline stuff like tools of the trade with a golf bag, different shout outs that you do on the first tee, like mashed potatoes and baba booey. So a lot of fun stuff. You could
and
look
more
at
to
our
come.
website.
There's more to
Yeah.
come. So and give us a follow, smash subscribe. All of these little micro engagements help. We want to grow out the YouTube numbers, so we will give more content that's more fun and compelling. Other than just us rambling on about golf, there will be more. But throw us a like, throw us a comment. Whether it's good or bad, just hit us up with your thoughts.
Let us know you're out there. Share if you can on social media and on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. That'd be wonderful. That'd be really great.
Excellent.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah,
I got a question for you. This is probably a hard question. It's a trivia question. Who do you think is the youngest PGA champion? How old do you think he was? Just take a guess, because I'm not sure if you're going to guess the person, because it was quite some time ago. We're talking about it's in the 20s. No cheating. Don't look into on Google.
Yeah. Okay. In the 1920s, who was the youngest? Who would have been relevant back then?
I'll give you a first name. It'll make it easier. I'm sure you'll guess it. First name, Gene.
Well, Gene, was it Gene Lickler? What was his name?
Gene Sarazen.
Sarazen. There we go. Yeah.
That's a tough question. I know it wasn't an easy one. You could catch me off guard.
I know a little bit about the golf history. I'm not as detailed as probably some of our guests have been in the past, but throw that at Gary Williams, he would have picked that off probably.
Yeah, that'd be probably pretty easy with Gary. Yeah, he's doing a great job on the Wrap and the Five Clubs Golf. Great show. You could catch not only on YouTube, but he's got it over on SXM as well.
Yeah, no, he's good actually. I prefer his show over some of the other hosts. But it's good. Lots of information on PGA Tour Radio. I've got it on in the car once in a while. When I listen to music, I'll flick over there just to help try and stay informed.
Well,
Okay.
Mike, I think that's going to be it for today, man. We covered a lot of stuff on the PGA Championship. It's going to be a wild week. I'm looking forward to it. As always, anything else you want to mention?
We're good.
Oh, I forgot. LPGA today. Is the release of episode 3 for All Access LPGA. Hope Arnett came on the show a month or two ago, and talked about developing and content creation for the LPGA and growing the game for women's golf. So a big shout out to them and to her and her whole team over at the LPGA office in Daytona, Florida.
Amazing.
That comes out tonight, and you can get that on lpga.com or
YouTube,
on YouTube.
wasn't it? Yeah, it's
on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing
So
that.
good. Yeah, that's right. Hope talked a lot about that. So check it out. I'm gonna watch that later tonight.
All right,
And that's
guys.
it. So check us out on the pod platforms as well. We're on a lot of them. So wherever you get your podcast, you can get this. It'll be up by tomorrow afternoon. And
All
thank
right,
you.
take care, guys. And
everybody.
big thumbs up. We're turning into Phil Mickelson here.